Hey guys, welcome to VA Friyay's. So I'm going to give you guys a really cool update on something that just came out last week and got signed into law called the VA Home Loan Reform Act. Before I get right into it, I'm going to do a quick dad joke. This is an old one that I really enjoy a lot. It's what do you why do bees have sticky hair? Why do bees have sticky hair? It's because they use a honeycomb. Get it? Pew pew. All right. So getting right into the VA Home Loan Reform Act. So this was signed into law, submitted by the VA. It's gone through the House, the Senate, and signed by the President, and has become law as of last week, July 30th. Now, what does this Reform Act do? It actually does kind of cool things in regard to clients who are going into foreclosure or missing payments or on the road to foreclosure. So let me get right into it. Just give you guys the quick and skinny. So first one is to talk about the foreclosure prevention tools that it allows the VA to do. Now, what the VA is allowed to do is basically, if a VA loan is in foreclosure, the VA is what they can do is actually basically give enough money to that lender so that it doesn't to get it out of foreclosure. And then there's some security instruments that basically allows the VA to have some security into the property. So my guess is that how it's going to practically look is that the loan holder is going to execute some documents, and the amount that the VA is going to be paying toward getting out of foreclosure is going to be a lien on the property that the VA holds. And that way it comes out of foreclosure and then maybe saves the client from losing their house, or they can actually choose to sell the house and not go through that foreclosure process. So that could be one option for a lot of VA clients who are approaching that direction. So just kind of like one of the things that just helps them out. Because the tough thing about going through a foreclosure is that the VA client, when they go through a foreclosure, is that they're going to lose their entitlement if that house officially goes to foreclosure. They're going to lose entitlement on that house, or at least the amount that they used on that house. So that's what kind of helps out a little bit. It's to keep them from going through that foreclosure and losing their entitlement on that portion of the house. Now, the other big thing is something called the permanent partial claim. Now, these are clients who are missing payments, basically. Let's say they missed, it has to do with a 5-year program. And essentially what the VA is allowed to do is let's say there's about, the client misses, 6 months of mortgage payments, and there's about $15,000 of mortgage payments, right, of missed. So what the VA law states is that it's up to about 25% of the unpaid principal balance. And what they'll do is that that portion that's unpaid, it'll become what's called a lien on the property that's held by the VA, and is interest free, and it's repaid at the end of the loan or within 5 years, whichever comes sooner. So in a nutshell, from what I understand, like let's say the unpaid principal balance is a certain amount, keyword principal balance, they'll take some portion of that, and the VA will basically essentially pay that, but you still owe the VA money back. So they'll apply a lien on the property in addition to the current mortgage, and it's a 5-year thing. So what will happen is that they can refinance or sell the property to pay off that lien, that VA lien, or they have to pay it in full in 5 years. So this kind of mimics a very similar down payment assistance grant, very similar in regards to that style. However, this is in regards to like clients who are going into basically a delinquency. They're missing payments on their mortgage. So there's a lot of the cool things like funding for homeless veterans. So they're increasing funding to the grant and per diem program. So what it does, it boosts annual allocation for approximately from 258 million to 344 million for 2025 and 26, which allows for support for transitional housing initiatives for veterans, particularly affected by toxic exposures. So and that's what's kind of cool about the program, is that it allows for all those things. This is, again, a lot of this program doesn't really impact a lot of VA clients who are using their VA home loan. Normally, this is more for like VA clients who are going through a really rough time with their mortgage. Another thing that's net direct spending is projected to decrease by 147 million over the next 10 years. And then there's something with, yeah, mostly with spending. So One of the things that allows the VA to do this, as far as like being able to take on liens and be able to save clients from foreclosures, is that the more VA loans that we do, the more flexibility and availability the program has to save clients from going into these rough situations. So we got to do more VA loans because the VA does get compensation out of the VA loan in the form of the VA funding fee. Also, the more VA loans that are done, they can get more funding from the federal government for their fiscal budget. So more VA loans, more programs like this to help veterans out in case something were to happen. So it's more to know, but key thing is that it's helping veterans facing default and also those who are getting behind on their mortgage payment. Now, there is a note in regards to, and it has nothing to do with the act itself. There's nothing inside, but one of the things is that this is probably the next step in what the new VA update is talking about, the buyer's agent commission. So the buyer's agent commission right now is still a temporary variance based on locality and how the the specific local MLSs run, and how if veterans can pay for buyer's agent commission or not. So the main thing is that it's not permanent yet. It's still very much a temporary variance. Apparently, I think NAR put out an article saying they're working on trying to advocate for something like that, but nothing is actually permanent as of right now. So, but yeah, you guys will see something about the VA Home Loan Reform Act that's coming out. Again, these are for this program is really specific for pointing to those who are about to reach foreclosure and behind on their payments, and those who are in foreclosure and have an option of potentially getting out of foreclosure. So the more you know, hopefully that helps you guys, give you more tools in your tool belt, and maybe you guys can help out clients, VA clients that are just going through a rough time. Otherwise, that's all I got for you guys. New Gout.